Hey y'all, from Spindle Mountain Mercantile. I am Heather. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you want to learn how easy it was to make this authentic Crackle Chippy look, y'all come. I'm going to show you how I did it. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, why is Heather going to ruin this perfectly great signed plate? It's because it's plastic and I bought it at the thrift store for 99 cents. I'm not going to ruin it. I'm going to make it better. Check out these relief shapes. They're hearts. Isn't that perfect for Valentine's Day? I'm going to cover up that palm tree and add some molds over it, and I'm going to put them together in a heart shape. I'll start by using the primitives mold, and I'm just going to use the long strip across the bottom, and that will be the outline of my heart. Now, you don't have to make a heart. You can do anything you want. I'm just doing it because it matches this plate, and 'tis the season. In my last video, I used the Juliet mold and cookie cutters in a heart shape, and you could do that here too. You could use just one solid mold, but I decided to use some of the different trimmings molds. They're long and thin, and I'm going to put them together in rows. There's no rhyme or reason here. I just picked out the ones I like. I'm just putting them together in rows how I think they look best under the cookie cutter, and when I cut them, they actually all stuck together, so it was really easy to transfer them to the plate to see where I wanted them. I always put my clay back in the original package in which it came, and then I double bag it and smooth as much of the air out as I can, because it is air dry clay and it will get dry when you don't want it to. I'm attaching the clay while it's still wet, and I'm using Tight Bond Thick and Quick, which I buy from Amazon in bulk, and I will leave a link in the description for that. Anything you use my Amazon link to purchase from, I will get a small compensation from Amazon, but it won't raise your price. I put the glue right on the back of each mold, and then I rub it in with my finger, but I do recommend using a brush for this part because it gets super messy and that's just not fun to clean off. And here's the hillbilly part. Before the clay is dry, but after the glue is dry, go ahead and take your plate or whatever object you're painting outside. You want it to be a kind of cold, chilly day. You want there to be lots of humidity, or it can even be raining. Use a cheap can of spray paint in whatever color you choose, and go ahead and spray your object outside and then leave it there. If it's raining, make sure to leave it under cover. You're going to let it dry until it's tacky, but not dry. Next, you're going to paint it with chalk paint. I prefer Debbie's DIY, and I'm using the color White Swan. Remember, the spray paint will still be tacky, so you want to use a brush that's not really special, because that spray paint is hard to clean off, and it will get stuck to your brush because it's not all the way dry, but that's what you want. It might take a little bit of practice when you're making these, but you want to find a place in between having just a light coat that covers and one thick coat that isn't so thick that it won't crackle. There's a good in between, and it's okay if some of the color underneath is showing through. I think that's part of the hillbilly part. It makes it look like it's been sitting outside for a while and somebody forgot about it. The dry time is really going to vary, but here is the look you get. This was after about 6 hours. It starts to crackle almost immediately. You want it to be really dry when you do the next step. We're going to wet distress just the relief part and the edges. I'm not going to wet distress the smooth part because that's where the crackle is, and I want to keep the integrity of that. For this process, you can use a wet wipe or a damp paper towel. I like to use a regular towel or cloth because, well, honestly, because it's easiest and that's what's on hand for me. And hey, there is a benefit. I don't fill up the landfills so much. So even though I'm not a tree hugger, I like that. You can distress as much or as little as you like, or not at all. I didn't used to like distressing, but the more I do it, the more I like it. And plus, it's fun. It's kind of cathartic. It's like therapy. I don't have to spend any money to do it. When you achieve your desired distressed look, take a clean part of your towel and wipe once over every distressed part. This simply takes the paint off that might have smeared while you were distressing. Chalk paint has to be sealed, and I forgot to film that part, but I used Debbie's DIY Big Top. Since the back was pretty messy, I just took it outside and used some black flat spray paint, and it looks wet here, but it dried to match. And it's the back. I just want it to look tidy. It doesn't have to look perfect. I buy these hangers from Amazon, and I will leave a link for those in the description. They come in a variety of sizes, hold a lot of weight, and they don't cost very much. Now look how pretty this turned out. This makes me want to start decorating for Valentine's Day. If you saw my video called Best Haul Ever, you might have seen me pick this tote up out of the pile. It's in great condition, but that color has got to go. So I tote it outside on a damp day and I spray painted one coat of black flat paint. My friend Danny picked this up for me for $1. Thanks, Danny. Make sure your spray paint has a sealer in it, and before it's all the way dry, but it's still tacky, bring it inside and give it a good coat of chalk paint. Again, I'm using Debbie's Design Diary in White Swan. It's my favorite. You can see in these pictures where it looks like I didn't get very good coverage, but actually what happened was this paint is so old and it's also been laying outside all winter and was outside in the summer. That's why it's Hillbilly Crackle, y'all. Anyway, it made it so color didn't come out with every spray, but the clear did, and that's really all I need to make the tacky surface underneath. Go ahead and grab your not favorite paintbrush and give it one good thick coat of chalk paint. Now make sure it's not too thick that it won't crackle, but not too thin that you can see the paint job underneath. How awesome is that? Doesn't that look like it's been sitting out in some hillbilly's yard for like years? And you guys, I'm not saying that to be mean because we were the hillbillies for about a year and a half. Sometimes we still are. We always have a mess going on someplace, and I just have piles of stuff that turn into this naturally. And I discovered this with old icky spray paint. Look, they were trying to sell that for $2.25, and I probably paid 2 cents for it after everything was balanced out. I did go ahead and add some IOD transfers to this, but I'm not going to go through that whole entire process because that's not what this video is about. I am going to do my next video on putting transfers on different surfaces. I will give you a little preview though. This went on easy. I could not believe how well this transferred. I hardly had to rub at all. When I did the burnishing at the end, that's what got it all to stick. This was the easiest surface of all the ones I did in that video. So keep your eye open for that, and I'll teach you how to do the transfers there. And here we go again. It's really authentic. How awesome is that? And I love it with the transfers. I kind of still laugh when I do this effect because I can't believe it works every time I do it. I wish I could patent it. I want to thank everyone who watched my video today. If you have any suggestions for future videos, or if there's something that you're kind of afraid to make but you really want to try, let me know and we'll see if we can figure it out together. That's what I've done my whole crafting life. Meanwhile, make sure to give my video a thumbs up and subscribe if you like my content. And most importantly, share my video to your other social platforms. Until I see you next time, well, until you see me next time, I hope you have a wonderful week. And as always, I hope you are blessed. Bye.